What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Your guy, Cody, here. Joining me, very special guest, Indianapolis Colts cornerback number 34, Mr. Isaiah Rodgers himself. Isaiah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you for having me, Cody.
Absolutely, man. Got some few questions here for you. So now entering year 3 with the Colts, man, how are you feeling? I mean, you being drafted in the 6th round and really coming on the last couple of years. How are you feeling, man, going into year 3?
I feel it's a blessing, just to still be here, just to still be in the building, in the building that drafted me. So, I'm coming in here with, guys that I was with the first 2 years, just a blessing to still have those, important guys around me while I'm still here.
Absolutely, man. And, the NFL draft's coming up this weekend. And, I wanted to get your thoughts on what was your journey like to the NFL coming out of, UMass and all that stuff. What was your journey like? And what advice would you have for maybe some of those prospects as well as they enter into this weekend?
My journey was a lot different. My year was the COVID year. I didn't travel to teams and travel to different interviews. And so all my stuff was strictly on Zoom, so really just stay hard, just stay on yourself and believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, really no one else will. And just keep your head, above water, because I was a guy sitting there watching day 3, just wondering, when I was getting that call. And, it's a blessing when it does come. And I had guys who got the call after the draft. So, if you're a baller, they're fine. It doesn't matter what school you went to.
I like that. And I'm sure you had a chip on your shoulder coming out, coming into the 6th round and stuff. How much has that helped you, in your mindset going into the league, coming in as a 6th round pick and really starting to make a name for yourself in the league?
It was huge just coming in, knowing that you had to do a lot more than the guys at the Bamas and the LSUs, to even get recognized. And then when you finally, get your foot in the door, you can't let up. You got to keep going hard. And just trying to do everything around the building that the coaches want you to do, and plus more, asking questions, no questions is a bad question. And just knowing that, I can help the team in every aspect possible, and just trying your best to do everything you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you started off primarily as a kick returner in your rookie year. Then last year you got a little bit more starting reps. How important were those for you just as a player developing into a starting NFL corner? How big for you were those live reps at games?
It was huge, just really going against like the greats, from the Russell Wilsons to Tom Brady's and, Matthew Stafford's, just finally getting those reps against great quarterbacks and great receivers. It was different from our rookie season of, strictly focusing on, special teams. But, I appreciate the coach for, just giving me the opportunity of, actually being out there on defense a lot as I was last year.
Did you have a favorite play from last year? I know you talked about Tom Brady. I know you picked him off in that game. I was actually at that game, so it was a really cool moment. But did you have a moment last year that you're like, man, that was probably my favorite moment as a player last year?
I'd probably say Baltimore Monday night, just going against Lamar. He's elusive. He's a Florida guy just like me. And probably to play with Darius when he pitched it back to me that they ended up calling back for some reason. I don't know why to this day, but that's probably my favorite play of all time since I've been in the league.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was we look back on it now, we're just like, what the heck was that? That should have been a touchdown, man.
Yes.
I tell you what. So, talking a little bit about your game as far as a corner, coming in as you did as a rookie, you mentioned during the COVID year and all that stuff, didn't have the traditional stuff, but, you got a full year now within, training camp and all that stuff at a semi-normal rate. How would you say you have developed as a player? What do you think you have developed the most as a corner in your first 2 years in the league? And what do you think you wanted to continue to develop, maybe to make another leap here in 2022?
Just understanding the game a lot more, from different formations of knowing like when they're in this formation, this might happen, this concept, this route concept, depending on players and where they're lined up. I never learned that growing up, never learned it in high school or college. And just coming to the league and having great guys around me from Xavier Rhodes to Kenny Moore's and Rock. And now, Stephon Gilmore's in the building. So just having, vets around me can help me, grow my game. I feel like every year I'm going to get better and better of just understanding the game to help it slow down.
Yeah, you mentioned Stephon Gilmore. What are your opinions on him? I mean, we all know a couple years ago he was, Defensive Player of the Year, probably the best corner in the league. What are your opinions on him? Have you been in touch with him much, and what are you looking forward to most about working alongside him?
Yeah, we text and have a few conversations. He's a baller. I'm pretty sure everyone knows. Stats show it. From the pro football grades to just the stats alone. No matter where he went, he balled. First round pick. He literally left his name out there in the league for the past however how long he's been, about 10 plus years, so really just learning from him, I really I even told him straight up, like, look, I can't wait to learn the game from you, to help me, continue to be in the NFL for 10 plus years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, the last 2 years, Isaiah, you played under Matt Eberflus in that system. Now, obviously, Eberflus in Chicago. So now you have a new DC in Gus Bradley. What have your conversations been like with him, Ron Miles, Mike Mitchell, all those guys? And what are you most excited about in terms of this defense and how they can use some of your skill sets to the best of your ability?
Just excited to grow. They put a face to a name once they saw me. They all got excited to see me. And just knowing that the goals that we have, just learning from Mike Mitchell, he played in the Colts organization, both number 34. So we talk and joke about that a lot. And with John Fox, he coached, my cousin at Denver Broncos. I was at the Super Bowl. So just like watching your childhood just coming up, and now you're getting coached by people who coach your idols and stuff like that. So, and just the energy with Gus and Milo, like, it's unexplainable just how they bring the energy every day. So, it's a pretty good vibe around here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So as a defense last year, you guys obviously did some things very, very well. What would you say as a defense as a whole, you guys are looking to maybe improve on this next year?
Just becoming a one unit. I just feel like it starts on and off the field. I feel like we need to come a lot closer, and it got to the point towards the end of the season last year where, we felt ourselves breaking away from each other. It wasn't really ourselves or how we was at the beginning of the season. But I think, the relationships we have now in the locker room, everyone's joking around. Everybody's coming closer. Everyone's getting to know each other. All the new guys and the vets are all like just coming together and just being one big family and just, all working towards one goal right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm curious, you coming into the league and even now, you're always learning, right? So who would you say when you came into the league are some guys that immediately were teaching you really important things? And who are some guys that even maybe now you're still continuing to learn from?
When I first got in the league, hands down was the entire corner room from Kenny, Xavier, and Rock. And just learning from them, learning nickel from Kenny when I came in and learning the two outsides and different playing styles from Xavier and Rock. And now it's like I learn from anyone now. I got Julian in my ear. Julian Blackmon's finally coming back. He's a guru in the film and techniques and all that stuff. So just learning from him and then learning the new playbook and the new techniques that we're using now with Brandon facing. So just learning from everyone around me right now. So just really just trying to grow my game.
Yeah, and you mentioned Julian Blackmon. I feel like nobody's talking about him, and they should be talking about him because that man was absolutely balling in his rookie season. What are you most excited about to see Julian back out there?
The fact that no one's talking about him, I feel like is a good thing because we all know he's going to ball when he gets back. So looking like comeback player of the year type vibes from him. He's remaining humble right now. He doesn't really care too much if they're speaking on him or not because he knows on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whatever time we play, he's going to ball out. He's going to make plays. So I'm ready to see what he got.
Absolutely. All right. Really appreciate your time, Isaiah. I have a few rapid fire questions for you here. First off, what inspired you to start playing football?
My dad. Just my dad. He forced it. Not really forced it on me, but it was just like, we know you're going to be good at this, so do it. And then it just took off from there.
Yeah, cool. All right. So what was your favorite NFL player? Who was your favorite NFL player growing up?
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie.
Nice. That's a good one. All right. Do you have any hobbies outside of football? Like, what are some of your hobbies?
I like to go bowling.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a bowler.
Wow. That's awesome. That's cool. What would you say is your favorite artist to listen to get hyped up for game day?
I have to go Chris Brown or Lil Baby.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. All right. Derek, my co-host, wanted me to ask you this question. So obviously we know you got that speed. Is there anybody in this organization, on this team right now that you think can beat you in a 40-yard dash or at least maybe even compete with you?
It's probably the only good race it'll probably be is Naheem Hines, Paris Campbell, and I don't know. I would throw JT in there because he's been pulling away from a lot of people. I'd throw JT in there just for fun, just to excite it up. But I'd just say Naheem and Paris right now are the only two that I'm really looking at right now.
But you still got him, right? You're still going to take him.
Chesley on defense, the corner, and he's running like that too. So I think out of me and him, the two corners versus two offensive guys, that's a great race right there.
Who'd win, do you think, in your opinion?
Oh, I'm gonna go with defense. I'm gonna go with us. I'm out to.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah. What would you say? I kind of ask you this a little bit, but like as a team, what would you say was your favorite moment from this last season?
Probably say the way the team came together against Buffalo. And I think knowing that Buffalo sent us home the year before, like that whole entire week and the week before, like just coming to that Buffalo game, we were a whole different team, and you just seen it in everyone's eyes. Everyone's heart was out there in the cold, and then it went from us to the fans. Like the fans are out there shirtless, just everyone's having fun, and we knew how it felt to get sent home from Buffalo, and we just knew that we all just came together as one, and that's probably my best moment last year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, final question. Really appreciate your time, Isaiah. Final question for you here. If you had to send a message about what the Colts and what Colts fans should be expecting from Isaiah Rodgers here in 2022, what would you tell
them? Just making plays, and I never let community down, never let organization down. Just doing everything I can, to be the best I could be.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate your time, Isaiah. It's always fun, man. We'll have to have you on again soon.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Cody.
Absolutely. Have a good one, man.
You too.